Well, new year, same old garbage. I'm going to tell you right now that I have very little positive to say coming out of this ball game. It's going to be 99.9% negative. And if you watched any part of that game, you would completely agree. All game, I'm looking for silver linings. I found a few. But overall, that was the most infuriating ball game I've watched in some time. This is your official New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys Week 1 review. I'm going to be breaking down both sides of the ball as I always do and giving my unbiased opinion on this team. And it was just absolutely embarrassing. I don't know what happened after our first drive. Maybe because we run the same play every single time. Dallas caught on, because they have a brain. First drive, it looked great. Moved the ball down the field. Saquon Barkley did what he does. But from there on, absolutely outclassed, outcoached by a mile. Kellen freaking Moore. Dallas destroys the Giants Week 1. And as I said, I'm going to start by just saying I have virtually nothing positive to say in regards to this ball game and this team, the state of this team right now. We just got absolutely embarrassed on both sides of the ball. We were completely outclassed in every aspect of the game. First of all, could we have looked more incompetent after our first drive? I don't understand it. I'm sick of 90% of our pass plays, starting with Eli Manning, throwing the ball to a receiver that's either at or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The other 9% is a throw to a receiver right in the middle, about 5 yards off the offensive line, right there, just in time to get hit by a middle linebacker. And then 1% of our plays, 1% of the time, we'll throw it beyond 10 yards. We'll take a risk. The ball is snapped, and within 2 seconds after Eli receiving the ball, it could be a completely clean pocket. It's right over the shoulder of the left tackle, right over the shoulder of the right tackle, into Ingram, Barkley, or Sterling Shepard's hands. They might get 5 yards out of it, but you're starting 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's infuriating. It's literally beyond my understanding why we can't take chances downfield. We're down 25 at the start of the fourth, 3rd and 17. And we throw it 5 yards to Evan Ingram. I'm so over this safe crap. Eli, by the time you retire, you will lead every NFL quarterback, every NFL record in interceptions. So screw it. You're down 25. Heave it. Well, what's going to happen? You throw an interception? We're going to punt anyway. The game's over. Dallas is going to let you dink and dunk. They're playing, I get it, they're playing prevent defense. They're going to give you those 5 yards. Doesn't mean you have to take it. Down 25 on 3rd and 17, and you're not throwing that ball beyond the sticks. Also, before I even get into our abysmal offense, no one say it's time for Daniel Jones. Please do not say it's Daniel Jones time, because it's not. This has nothing to do with the competence or the ability of Eli Manning, and it was proven tonight. When Jones came into the game, the same crap. 3 plays, one of them the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, the other 2 just in front. It has nothing to do with the quarterback and has everything to do with the play calling. Coach Shermer, I am so over you and over your playbook. It needs to improve. I get it. There's a time and a place for these little screens out to the left and right and to the running back in the back. I understand there's a time and place for that. But every play, it was infuriating to watch. Every single play. Management can cut and call out players who don't improve, who don't show ability. I think it's time to check the coach. New year, same old playbook from Pat Shurmur. Oh, excuse me. Whoa. My mistake. We now have a scheme where there's 6 offensive linemen. So the theory is when we dump the ball off 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage that we have an extra blocker now. Oh, fantastic. To continue with offensive line, I have virtually nothing negative to say about them. The front 5 looked very good. I mean, night and day compared to last year, considering who they were facing, that's what makes it impressive. Dallas is a very good pass rush team. I mean, outside of a few times where Dallas ran some different schemes where they had defensive linemen running crossing stunts, that's when they ended up getting some pressure on Eli Manning. But I have to say, straight up, head-to-head, our offensive line looked good. Mike Remmers was able to handle DeMarcus Lawrence. To hold a team like Dallas to 1 sack is a huge accomplishment. Say what you want about the 7 QB hits, but it was predominantly when Shurmur calls these design rollouts that are not effective. They were covered all game, and it doesn't matter how good your line blocks, you're leaving yourself wide open for a hit. I understand it worked on our first drive with that touchdown pass to Evan Ingram, but you can't expect to go to the well time after time after time after time and expect there to be water there every single time. Eli is not a mobile quarterback. He never was. When we took risks, at times they did pay off. Latimer had a nice one-handed catch along the sideline. I almost feel Eli's so punch drunk that he doesn't realize that, I have time back here, and it's that muscle memory where it's take the snap. He's used to having to get that ball out in 2 seconds. I just, plain and simple, Pat Shurmur, the play calling is atrocious. The offense is absolutely atrocious. But now to move to the most infuriating part of this offense. The Cowboys had absolutely no answer for Saquon Barkley. They couldn't stop him if they had 14 defenders on that field. Absolutely dominant. I understand we're playing from behind essentially all game. But you got a running back averaging more than a first down when he has the ball in his hands. How does he only have 11 carries? That is ridiculous. 11 carries to the best running back in football, averaging more than a first down every time he's touching the ball. 3rd and 1. This is what I nearly turned off the game. 3rd and 1. We give the ball to Eli Penny. How do you not give the ball to Saquon? I'm like, okay, fine. It's 4th and 1. Same thing. Whatever. We're going to get it anyway. Then on 4th and 1, you don't give him the ball again? Hasn't Seattle taught you anything? When you need a yard and you have a power back, give him the bleeping ball. As I said, Dallas had no answer for Saquon Barkley. His day, 11 carries, 120 yards, added 4 catches for 19 yards. Another box score game. Eli had over 300 yards, whoop-de-doo, but he threw the ball 44 freaking times. With Saquon Barkley averaging what he was averaging, first of all, Eli should never throw the ball 44 times. Period. Do you know what? I'm going to come down. Pat Shurmur is going to be an incredible head coach in the XFL. But don't worry, the Giants' atrocious performance wasn't only limited to offense. Oh, defense looked terrible too. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Dak Prescott looked impressive. You don't have a perfect quarterback rating, and that, a perfect quarterback rating can't be attributed just to poor defense. At the end of the day, you have to play the position of quarterback well, and he did. He's definitely greatly improved, but the Zeke effect was on full effect. We expected to see the rush, and Dallas was running play action every single play. Every single play was play action. I almost can't even recollect a play where Dallas didn't run a play action. We were clearly focused on stuffing the run. Even though Zeke was in Cabo sipping on Mai Tais and getting his feet rubbed, we still attributed, from the looks of things, our entire practice leading up to this game on stopping Zeke. And for basically all game we did. Outside of Elliott's rushes on the touchdown drive, we were able to contain him pretty well. Pollard as well. The problem was, as I said, they ran play action virtually every single play, and virtually every single play, someone bit on it. Our defensive line closed up lanes, and our backers came up to make tackles, but late in the game, after our defense is exhausted because our offense is not moving the ball, slowly but surely, Zeke was able to get his average yards per carry up, simply because, our defense, they're exhausted. But at the end of the day, Elliott only rushed for 53 yards on 13 carries, but obviously he's on a pitch count. So, we were able to stop Pollard, but, again, just a rookie. I'm not going to put too much stock in the fact that we were able to stop an elite running back just because it was his first game back. But that's really the only thing positive that I can say about this defense. And one thing that I've been talking about basically all spring, get Ryan Connolly on the field ASAP. He was doing the same thing he did in preseason. He was flying all over the field. He was everywhere when he had the chance. Extremely limited snaps. Pretty much came in the very the end of the game type of thing. But only guy on our team with a tackle for loss. Whatever. That's really the only positive thing I have to say about our defense. I understand what offensive line we were facing, but we generated absolutely no pressure whatsoever. We had 2 QB hits. Wow, how exciting. He absolutely torched us over the top. Every member of our secondary at some point got exposed. But I do have a question. Why was the guy that looked the most dominant and most impressive in our secondary all spring, all preseason, not in the game? Where was Corey Ballantyne? Why is he sitting on the sideline as we watched Antonio Hamilton get absolutely embarrassed? Like I said, you have arguably the best looking guy coming out of preseason, and he's sitting there on one knee on the sideline. I literally cannot express how awful Antonio Hamilton looked. He's a glorified kick return specialist who we decided to throw out there at corner. And he got absolutely demolished. Every time you see a receiver make a catch, there's number 30 trailing behind him, trying to wrap up the legs. The worst of it was Dallas's first drive of the second quarter, where these receivers are literally catching the ball no one within 5 feet of them. And sure enough, who's guarding them? Antonio Hamilton. 400-year-old Randall Cobb put a stiff arm on Hamilton he may never recover from. Not to say he was the only one that looked terrible, because he was not. Baker's inexperience was exposed in this game. Average receivers made our secondary look like college team. Baker looked foolish on a couple times tonight. First of which to second-year player Gallup, who was the first drive of the second quarter, beats him over the top. And then at the very end of that same quarter, Amari Cooper just right over the top for the touchdown. Minute 13 left. He wasn't within 2 steps of him. I told you last video that this was going to be a process. We have a lot of young guys, and it was going to be a process. It was not going to be instant success. And some of you, for some reason, thought that it would be, and they were going to mesh up well immediately. You must have only watched preseason when they're playing other rookies and other third stringers, because I knew it's impossible. Yeah, there are a lot of first-round draft picks, 2 of which on defense, but it's going to be a process. This is going to take time, man, for them to adjust. And it certainly was not ready for week 1. It was one of those games where you could almost just legitimately watch the highlights, because it seemed almost every pass play for Dallas was rinse and repeat. Different cast. Play action to Zeke. Gallup, Cobb, Cooper, cross the middle, 15 yards. Simple. Once they start putting more coverage over the middle of the field, play action pass, over the top to Cooper, along the sideline. Rinse and repeat. Same old garbage. I mean, the first time we saw Ballantyne, finally, was midway through the third. But, I mean, after over a half of football of Hamilton, the game was out of reach at that point. He just ugly. And now, classic Giants, for years now, we have just shown that we cannot cover a tight end, period. We just can't do it. We'll put a middle linebacker on him, not effective. We'll let the safety take care of it, not effective. It's the middle of the field was embarrassing, just wide open. Not just tight ends, just I just can't believe how open the middle of the field was for the entire game. For those of you who defend guys like Tay Davis, oh, he's good at pass coverage. Alec Ogletree had 5 interceptions last year. Garbage. There's nothing you could say to defend this team. On offense or defense, if you have anything positive beyond what I've already said, you're delusional. Twice in this ball game, our middle linebackers bit on a play action, and the tight end was wide open for the touchdown. The first of which, Tay Davis bit hard on a play action, and Jarwin was 28-yard touchdown right over the middle, easy play. Dallas even looked like they messed up a couple times. First Dak, after doing the play action, didn't seem to have the ball right in his hands, throws a duck over the middle. Jarwin still catches it, nearly drops it, and easy for the touchdown. Even when they mess up, we can't do anything right to stop them. So that was one. Number 2, Dallas has been running this play. Tony Romo was running this play. Same old garbage. It was to Witten in the second, where literally every member of our defense bit. Same crap. Play action to Zeke, going off to the left. Jason Witten blocks for a moment, breaks off. Easy touchdown. Dallas has been running this for years, and we still can't stop it. Long story short for defense, young secondary needs vast improvements. First of all, you need the right personnel on the field. Get that idiot Antonio Hamilton out of the game. Linebackers need to work on pass coverage, and defensive line needs to generate pressure. Again, I'm not going to put too much stock in how good we stopped the run in this game, because Zeke was on a pitch count, first game back, and all of that. But I had to find something positive in this game. Garbage. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I've had enough thinking about, reviewing, watching this game. It's in the books. Dallas beats the Giants 35-17 in week number 1. All we can do is look forward to the future as fans. We have Buffalo coming to our stadium next week for week number 2. I'm going to be at that game live, as I will be for most of the home games this season. I'm going to be vlogging for that game, my whole trip to the stadium, the tailgate, the ball game itself, followed by my review post-game. Over the course of this week, watch out for my news videos that will be dropping periodically, as well as my continued series of Madden NFL 20 New York Giants franchise. That next episode will be dropping tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. If you enjoyed the video, watching me get pissed off, please leave a like and sub to the channel if you haven't already. I hope you guys have a great Monday and enjoy the games tonight. I'll see you in the next one, guys.